I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. It never ceases to amaze me just how pathetic MAGA Republican Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy is. Just moments after the news broke that Donald Trump received a target letter from Special Counsel Jack Smith informing Donald Trump that he was a target of the criminal investigation into 2020 election interference and that an indictment against Trump is imminent, Kevin McCarthy gave a press conference where he stated that the reason Special Counsel Jack Smith is about to indict Donald Trump regarding 2020 election interference and sent this target letter is because Donald Trump is increasing in the polls, and this is part of the weaponization of the Department of Justice. That is patently false. Donald Trump is receiving a target letter because Donald Trump is a criminal who tried to overthrow our democracy. I want to play this clip of Kevin McCarthy completely lying and further shaming himself. But then I want to compare what Kevin McCarthy just said after the news broke about this target letter sent by Special Counsel Jack Smith to Donald Trump to what Kevin McCarthy said after the January 6th insurrection on the House floor and in secretly recorded audio. Let's first play the video of Kevin McCarthy after Donald Trump was announced that Donald Trump received the target letter. Play the clip.
Well, I guess under a Biden administration, Biden America, you'd expect this. If you notice recently, President Trump went up in the polls and was actually surpassing President Biden for re-election. So what do they do now? Weaponize government to go after their number one opponent. It's time and time again. I think the American public is tired of this. They want to see equal justice, and the idea that they utilize this to go after those who politically disagree with them is wrong.
Now, this is Kevin McCarthy on the House floor days after the January 6th insurrection, saying that Trump bears responsibility for the attack on the Capitol building for the January 6th insurrection. Play this clip.
Madam Speaker, let me be clear. Last week's violent attack on the Capitol was undemocratic, un-American, and criminal. Violence is never a legitimate form of protest. But here is what a vote to impeach would do. A vote to impeach would further divide this nation. A vote to impeach will further fan the flames of partisan division. Most Americans want neither inaction nor retribution. They want durable, bipartisan justice. That path is still available, but is not the path we are on today. That doesn't mean the president is free from fault. The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters. He should have immediately denounced the mob when he saw what was unfolding. These facts require immediate action by President Trump. Accept his share of responsibility, quell the brewing unrest, and ensure President-elect Biden is able to successfully begin his term. And the president's immediate action also deserves congressional action, which is why I think a fact-finding commission and a censure resolution would be prudent. Unfortunately, that is not where we are today. The eyes of the nation and the world are upon us. We must seize this opportunity and heal and grow stronger. As leaders, our place in history depends on whether we call on our better angels and refocus our efforts to work directly for the American people. United, we can deliver peace, strength, and prosperity our country desperately needs. Divided, we will fail.
And also, here is an audio recording of Kevin McCarthy speaking to other Republicans shortly after the January 6th insurrection, where he discusses with the Republican caucus. At this time, Kevin McCarthy was the House Minority Leader. He told other Republicans at that time in this conference call that McCarthy didn't know was recorded. And by the way, McCarthy then told the New York Times he never said what's actually on this recording. They just lie about everything. And he said that he was going to tell Donald Trump that Trump should resign. Play this clip.
Hearing that he might resign, is there any reason to think that might happen?
I've had some few discussions. My gut tells me no. I'm seriously thinking of having that conversation with him tonight. I haven't talked to him in a couple days. From what I know of him, I mean, you guys all know him too. Do you think he'd ever back away? But
McCarthy goes on to say he believed Trump would be impeached and possibly even removed from office by the Senate.
the only discussion I would have with him is that I think this will pass, and it would be my recommendation we should resign. I mean, that would be my take, but I don't think he would take it, but I don't know.
So what happened thereafter? Well, Kevin McCarthy was summoned to MarALago. You recall this infamous photo with Donald Trump and Kevin McCarthy. And Kevin McCarthy was neutered again at MarALago by Donald Trump and effectively told, you have no future in the Republican Party unless you do what the cult tells you to do, Kevin. You understand what I mean, Kevin. And that scared Kevin, and Kevin changed his tune. And Kevin, like the coward and traitor that he is, did what coward and traitors do. So Kevin McCarthy would then give, in addition to try to obstruct the formation of the January 6th committee, then Kevin McCarthy, all of a sudden, he didn't remember things. He didn't remember. It was such a confusing time for him on January 6th. He doesn't recall saying anything to Donald Trump about, hey, what you're doing about January 6th could be illegal and could cause lots of problems, or telling Donald Trump that the election was not stolen. Oh, he doesn't really remember anything anymore. Here, play this clip.
Cassidy Hutchinson testified that...
So we're going to January 6th.
Yes,
Go ahead.
She testified under oath.
You know we're in a recession too, right?
Well, she testified under oath saying that you called her after Donald Trump said that, or just told his supporters that they were going to go to the Capitol, and you were concerned about those remarks and said, don't come up here. Figure it out. Don't come up here. She said that under oath. Did you tell her that, and why were you concerned about the prospect of Donald Trump coming to the Capitol on January 6th?
To be honest with you, I don't recall talking to her that day. I recall talking to Dan Scavino. I recall talking to Jared. I recall talking to Trump. That's what I talked to on television like that, too. If I talked to her, I don't remember it. If it was coming up here, I don't think I wanted a lot of people coming up to the Capitol, but I don't remember the conversation.
Why were you concerned specifically about Trump coming to the Capitol?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember being concerned about his comments?
No, but because I didn't watch it. See, this is what is so confusing. I didn't watch the speech. I was working. So I didn't see what was said. I didn't see what went on till after the fact.
Did you want him to come to the Capitol?
No, I've never communicated with him about coming to the Capitol. I had no idea he would come to the Capitol. I had no idea that he was even going to come to the Capitol. That's
because
news to me.
She said under oath that you told her throughout the course of the week, or reassured you through the course of the week that he was not going to come to the Capitol. So apparently,
I don't remember having any conversations with her about coming to the president coming to the Capitol. I don't recall any of that. I recall my conversation with Dan Scavino. I recall calling Jared. That was in the midst of the Capitol, people breaking into the Capitol, me being removed from the office. That's when I called people.
And what were your conversations with Scavino like? What were you trying
to I was trying to find the president.
And by the way, I think Liz Cheney said it best. This was before Kevin McCarthy became Speaker of the House. This interview from August of 2022, where Liz Cheney was asked if she felt that Kevin McCarthy should be the Speaker of the House. And she responded that no, he's completely and utterly unfaithful to the United States Constitution. Play this clip.
Is the country better or worse off if Kevin McCarthy is the next Speaker of the House?
Well, my views about Kevin McCarthy are very clear. The Speaker of the House is the second in line for the presidency. It requires somebody who understands and recognizes their duty, their oath, their obligation, and he's been completely unfaithful to the Constitution. and demonstrated a total lack of understanding of the significance and the importance of the role of Speaker. So I don't believe he should be Speaker of the House. I think that's been very clear.
So it sounds like that's a yes. You think the country would be worse off if he were Speaker of the House?
I don't believe he should be Speaker of the House.
I'll show you a response right now from a Republican who's basically been thrown out of the Republican Party, Asa Hutchinson. I mean, Asa Hutchinson's as Republican as you get. Former governor of Arkansas, Republican governor of Arkansas, someone who I disagree probably on just about every single policy, but someone who, when it comes to Donald Trump's election interference, is just calling a spade here. And I agree with Asa Hutchinson. This was the statement that Asa Hutchinson put out after the news broke that Donald Trump received a target letter from Special Counsel Jack Smith. Asa Hutchinson is seeking the Republican nomination, but when he gave that speech over the weekend at that MAGA cult event called the Turning Point Conference, he was basically booed off the stage by the MAGA Republicans who screamed Trump. This is what it says. The ASA for America campaign released the following statement today in regard to the news that the special prosecutor Jack Smith has notified Donald Trump that he is a target of the January 6th investigation. This statement can be attributed to Governor Asa Hutchinson. Quote, I have said from the beginning that Donald Trump's actions on January 6th should disqualify him from ever being president again. As a former federal prosecutor, I understand the severity of grand jury investigations and what it means to be targeted by such an investigation. Donald Trump has confirmed that he is a target of the investigation and will likely be indicted once again. While Donald Trump would like the American people to believe that he is a victim of the situation, the truth is that the real victims of the January 6th were our democracy, our rule of law, and those Capitol police officers who worked valiantly to protect our Capitol. Anyone who truly loves this country and is willing to put the country over themselves would suspend their campaign for president of the United States immediately. It's disappointing that Donald Trump refuses to do so. Governor Asa Hutchinson, the 46th governor of Arkansas and a current Republican candidate for president. And just so you know the state of affairs here also, with Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy and the MAGA Republicans, they sent a congressional delegation. Think about that. A congressional delegation that's usually sent to, our allies to talk about kind of mutual interests. It's an important thing. Congressional delegations, it's honorific. They sent a congressional delegation to hang out with the January 6th insurrectionists, fist bump them, do chants and sing songs about "Let's go, Brandon." It's what's going on in Kevin McCarthy's House of Representatives right now. You've got Donald Trump and MAGA Republican leaders making songs with the insurrectionists. They formed a choir together, Republican members of Congress and Donald Trump and the insurrectionists, and they put out jingles, they put out music, they put out tracks called the January 6th Insurrectionist Choir, and they play them at these cult events that Donald Trump holds. You've got Marjorie Taylor Greene basically leading the House of Representatives under Kevin McCarthy. And by the way, one of the deals that I think was cut at MarALago was Donald Trump basically said, look, Kevin, if you do what I want you to do, one of the things I'll give you is Marjorie Taylor Greene. I will let Marjorie Taylor Greene support you, and you could have the extreme kind of, crazies in the MAGA Republican Party, and they'll support you. And now the other group of MAGA Republicans don't like the Marjorie Taylor Greene, Kevin McCarthy MAGA Republicans, and it's kind of total and utter chaos. But this is all under Kevin McCarthy's incredibly weak speakership, traitorous speakership. He's such a shameful and despicable individual. Folks, we need to be doing everything we can before the 2024 election to save our democracy. You watching this, you could be the difference in the 2024 election, especially the aggregate effect of our community. Just spend a little time each day sharing these videos, talking to family members about what's at stake. Do that every day from now until the election. and we'll be in good shape. But just you got to do that. We can't just shut these videos off and then go about our day. It's so critical that we take that next step and make sure family members are registered. Do all of that now. Do that planning now. Thanks for watching. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, wherever you get audio podcasts. Subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. Thank you. Bye.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.